Hello and welcome back, everybody. I hope you had a great lunch and are fully refreshed for another round of interesting presentations. Our ninth company presenting itself today is Heidelberger Druck. We recently initiated on Heidelberger Druck, and I will post a link to the research in the chat box below in a few moments. As with all presentations today, you will be able to ask questions. Please put the questions in the chat box and we will address them during the Q&A. And without further ado, because Sasha, you can explain the company much better than I can, it's all yours.
Right. Thanks, Holger. Thanks, everyone. Welcome today. I'm very happy to be part of today's conference and be able to tell you a few things about Heidelberg. Also a few new things, really. Things that might have fallen into oblivion really over the past years. But I want to tell you something new, some new highlights about our firm, and I'm very pleased that you are amongst the first really to have a closer look on our company and have the possibility to even hear what our recent activities are and how the transformation at Heidelberg really develops, right? So I'm Sascha Donath. I am heading up investor relations at Heidelberg, and I'm already part of the journey for nearly 10 years. A journey, I have to say, that has gone some bumpy roads, really, but also a journey that has always put technology and automation at the center of our thoughts. And this is the interesting thing about Heidelberg, because one thing is clear. All industries in the world really require technology. They require automation in the future and times going forward. And I think this is why we as Heidelberg believe that we are in an excellent position to leverage our expertise, our know-how that we have been developing over the last 175 years. Right, so let's jump into the agenda. As said, I'm going to tell you a few things about Heidelberg, also about what Heidelberg is as of today. I will have a look at our investment story, have a little deep dive on the segments that we currently operate, and finally, of course, also have a look on the results of last fiscal year and the outlook going forward. Right. Little introduction for those who are not as familiar with Heidelberg as our investors or current investors. We have celebrated our 175th anniversary this summer, so a lot of history, a lot of legacy, really. And during that time, we, as a company, have worked our way towards being a market and technology leader in the print and packaging segment. Why are we in such situation or in such position? Well, beyond the heritage and the pure size of our company, a key unique strength of Heidelberg is our complete coverage of the entire packaging and printing value chain. It's a holistic system, really, an automation system and a system integration that we are looking at. So this is an integrated model from pre-press to post-press, also including services, including consumables and software. And I strongly believe that this is one of the major differentiators and a core part of what Heidelberg defines. Right? And this comprehensive approach towards the customer and combined with the technology, with the know-how that we have in our company, combined with the global service and sales support and network, this gives us a clear edge in the market and a differentiating factor for any business activity that we're planning to do going forward. Another USP of Heidelberg is that we do have extensive in-house expertise, right? When it comes to mechanics, electronics, electrics, service, and application know-how. So, moreover, we do have large parts of the vertical value chain in-house, which resembles resilience, really, in daily operations. But also have an advantage on all the endeavors that we are currently planning with regard to building up further business pillars. And with this expertise, with these capabilities within the company, I think we're in an excellent position to follow the global megatrends going forward. Right. So a few words on Heidelberg figures as of the last fiscal year, 24-25. Heidelberg has roughly 9,300 employees. Net sales of last fiscal year were roughly 2.3 billion, with an adjusted EBITDA margin of 7.1%. Positive free cash flow, which we worked on over the last years. And most importantly, there's a very decent order intake as of the end of last fiscal year with 2.4 billion. That gives a great foundation really for the activities for that fiscal year. Little look on our footprint. Our sales and service activities and our proximity to the customer really reaches into approximately 170 countries worldwide. We do have 8 production centers, mostly in Germany, but also in Shanghai and China. And I'm going to dig deeper on this at a later stage. This is just to give you an initial overview on how we are set up worldwide. As I said, close proximity to the customer via our own sales and service units globally, and a decent production footprint that enables us to have production in Europe and serve the European and US market, but also in China for the Asia Pacific region. If we look at these, let's say, I want to call it investment highlights for the time being, really. And everything about this is really the transformation of Heidelberg over the last years. Yeah? We framed the transformation of our DNA. So we are a German company. Yeah, we started in Wiesloch in Heidelberg, Germany. Now we are present worldwide in Shanghai with an own production site. Yeah, we started with print. That's the key. That's the core business of our company. And we're gradually developing into packaging automation and further business pillars and further lines. So let me go through these single items because I think it's important to understand what Heidelberg represents as of today. And it will be important to understand our strategic focus areas going forward, what the basis for these things are. So, as I said before, we serve customers in 170 countries, 250 sites worldwide, real global coverage. 85% of our revenues are outside of Germany. 30% approximately in the APAC region is one of the high growth areas, especially when it comes to packaging. We are the only offset press manufacturer with a local production plant in China, and this is since 2006. So this is a clear competitive advantage in the market. And of course, for us internally, it's a great instrument to work on competitive cost structures, driving growth in emerging market to hit the price point of our customers, but B, to work in an efficient and in a profitable manner. And this is really one of the key differentiating factors for us. We've gradually developed digital business models over the years. Yeah? Remote digital access when it comes to service applications, proprietary workflow software, which is of key importance on the whole idea of automating at the press room. And this really leads to more than 11,000 connected machines at our customer sites where we have daily access when it comes to service issues, when it comes to life cycle business, etc., etc. We are in a position to look at the machines. We are in a position to actively drive life cycle business with our customers. And when we look at the further business pillars that we want to develop, tapping into high growth automation markets, capitalizing on the relevant technological competencies that we have to serve the global megatrends. I think these are the reasons why already today Heidelberg is a great company with the strong fundamentals. And keeping these highlights in mind, you will now better understand why we see ourselves in an excellent position, really, to follow through on our 3 strategic focus areas, which I will now elaborate on a bit. Okay. Looking at our 3 segments as of today, our strategy is built around the core competencies of Heidelberg, really, and it's divided into 3 focus areas, as I just said. First is print and packaging equipment, 1.2 billion in size. the goal here is really to become a real systems integrator in the packaging area. Number 2 is digital and lifecycle business, 1.1 billion in net sales as of today. Complementary business field for the packaging area. And this business is really based on digital recurring revenue business models, focusing on service, consumables, and software. And the third pillar is our technology segment. As of today, 70 million in sales. Here, our plan is to develop new business areas, leveraging the competencies, leveraging the capacities that we have here at Heidelberg. Basically, again, what I just said. We have defined 3 clear strategic focus areas I will elaborate on now to give you a view on what we want to achieve. Packaging market, I think, offers enormous potential. Heidelberg is positioned as a full end-to-end system integrator. So in summary, Heidelberg wants to play a key part in the future of packaging. That's the main goal. And therefore, we are well positioned. We have understood the importance of automation, of software and workflow designs. And we are also looking far beyond our current setup, having one clear goal. So it's really shaping the overall packaging value chain, not only in print, not only on the packaging side, but also on further fields of the value chain in packaging, leveraging our contract to brand owners. Digital and lifecycle business. We do have a global setup. We are highly renowned for excellent service in the industry, and this is one of the key assets we love Heidelberg. Our global reach, own structures, this is really second to none and directly gives us an opportunity to scale lifecycle business in our core business, but also in industries outside the packaging area. One example really would be our service activities in the e-mobility sector. I will touch on that later, but also as we've released in one of our latest press releases that we are now opening up for service for other industries as well. I'll share details a bit later. And the third pillar really is the technology segment. Again, for this segment, the aim is to reuse 80% of existing and relevant know-how of our group, be it mechanical engineering, be it electronics, be it automation or system integration. We are on a way to identify routes into further industries, which realize that Heidelberg expertise, Heidelberg know-how is also of value to these industries and these customers. And this is the possibility to create a win-win situation. Eventually, really, Heidelberg objective is to offer systems to a broader customer range, and we have high confidence that we can do this, right? As we have already shown with e-mobility, as we've already distributed a press release in the defense area. Right. How does that translate into the numbers? When we look at the top line, starting from last fiscal year's 2.3 billion in revenues, the growth potential here is 300 million in net sales. We want to achieve this through consequently driving the activities in our print and packaging equipment segment, in the digital and lifecycle area, but also, and in particular, in Heidelberg Technology. When we look at the profitability, we've been working with high focus on profitability over the last years and last year in particular. So we do see a target ambition in EBITDA margin that is higher than of today. So we anticipate we want to work with a target ambition of 2 to 4%, ranging into like 9 to 11% in 3 years' time. So what are the reasons for that? What are the ways to go into this? We want to grow into high margin business, especially in automation, especially in the technology area. We have a strong focus on cost. That means we've created and negotiated a so-called Zukunftsplan, which will lead to more than 50 million in personal cost savings over the next 3 years. And this, of course, will have a major impact on margin. In addition to personal cost savings, we are also boosting efficiencies, avoiding costs avoiding costs such as advisor costs or personal increase costs, And this is expected to deliver a further 30 million in saving, which will lead to the profitability ambition targets that we have shown here. Let's have a little look on the segment again. So basically, an overview here on the scaling of the segments. Let's dig into detail on print and packaging. Here's a look on the market, and the overall trend for the market really is that packaging is growing. Not only in Asia Pacific, where Heidelberg has a strong setup, is well equipped to make use of that growth, but also in EMEA and America. So our aim really is to develop further into the packaging area, become the system automation provider that we are, and directly participate in the market developments and packaging growth. What is the offering that we have? It's a closed system. It's a complete system for the press and print shop, a full range supplier that we are as of today, which puts us in the position to really be the system integrator for our customers. We do have the equipment in place. We do have the workflow software in place that holds everything together when it comes to autonomous processes. And we do have a global sales and service network, being able to provide customers with consumables, service and parts, performance data consulting, and recurring revenue business models in the end. How does it translate into the reality? I've always brought a customer example here, or a press release that we've created. So this is WKS, a big customer of ours, who have decided really to opt for an end-to-end integration solution of Heidelberg. And this really is a proof of the concept that we would like to be with our customers, being the system integrator, providing full automation from at the very beginning until the finished product. The second segment, digital printing. This is really an area where growth is tremendous, and Heidelberg is in a very good position to benefit from that growth. We're expecting the market to grow to 7.5 billion from 5 billion. So high potential, high opportunities for Heidelberg in a position where we are the one company that can offer a digital solution along with an offset solution. You can see this on this slide, really. We offer the full range of printing technologies in one workflow, right? So be it for low capacity or high capacity, or for high and low quantity values. We do offer offset sheet fed offset solutions, but also digital solutions, which gives the freedom to the customers to work on their orders and with their customers, and to have the most efficient setup in their press room. Again here, a customer example, and I think that's an excellent example of what we are offering and how the customer perceives it. Schmidt-Fair is a Swiss company who have opted for a complete digital automation solution of Heidelberg. This comprises hardware in an inline format. So from the order until the finished product, everything can be assembled in this equipment. It all is being held together with software, with a proprietary software. Service comes along, vendor managed inventory comes along. So the complete setup, the complete portfolio, the customer has opted for and has chosen, which is very nice proof for our offering and for the customer value that we offer when it comes to automated solutions. On top of that, the business model is also very nice. We've concluded a subscription model and subscription contract with that customer, playing into the current business models that we have. When we look at the second part of the segment, life cycle business, of course, one focus area for us, we would like to further expand digital and life cycle business, not only in the core segment, but also to new industries. And I think this is backed by the setup that we have, by the expertise that our service and consumables guys have. When we look at the numbers and how we have evolved over the years, we can clearly say that we have increased the portion of lifecycle business within our company. We have increased the recurring revenue share of that lifecycle business. And our aim is to even enlarge that. So the ambition range going forward really is to further increase not only the portion of net sales of group, but also the portion of recurring revenues by another 2 to 3% in the next 3 years. This is, of course, not only in the core segment of print and packaging where we are today, but also includes other business activities in the industrial area, which we want to address. A perfect example for this really is on the next page, where we have distributed and shown our cooperation with Schubert, expanding really the service areas that we have. And this is a proof for another industry that makes use and has the value of our service offering.
Just to quickly jump in, we do have a few questions and about 8 minutes left.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you have a few slides that you could maybe skip just so that we get to those questions. That would be super.
Yes, of course you can. Or let's jump into the question. I can then share later on.
Great, thank you so much. We have a few questions regarding your entry into the defense business. And basically they're asking, with you entering the defense sector, can you shed some lights on your plans, potential revenue upside, timeline, etc.?
Okay, so as of today, what we've and I'm going to share this one with you. So the basic idea on the defense areas and why we are in that is really due to the technology and due to the existing know-how that we have. We are in the starting phase. We do have published our partnership with Vincorion going forward. We do have further activities that make us believe that the defense area will really give us an edge and be a significant part of Heidelberg's business going forward. We are not in a situation for the time being that we can share further details on revenue upside and any further financial forecast. Timing is that we really are confident and expect further steps in that area over the next month.
All right, thank you. Strategic focus for digital printing and packaging solutions. Where do you exactly what would you focus on, and how does Heidelberg plan to capitalize on new technology adoption trends?
Well, I'm not sure if I got the message, the question correct. Can you repeat that, please?
Of course, most certainly. Question was your strategic focus for digital printing and packaging solutions, and how does Heidelberg plan to capitalize on the new technology adoption trends that you see in the market?
Okay, so there's
that already partially during your presentation.
Yeah, that's I can answer this twofold. Number one is a capitalization would really come from further developing the systems automation approach. So what we want to do in the packaging area is to, if you look at the value chain in packaging, it's very broad, and our aim is really to, tap into further areas of the packaging value chain, expanding the business, making use of our contact with brand owners, etc., and providing these customers with further services, with further technology going forward, and offering a clear system, offering a complete system to be able to have the value chain in place and have the value chain under control on a vertical point of view more and more. And the other one is from a business model perspective. As I said, if you look at the setup that Heidelberg has, if you look at the capabilities and capacities that Heidelberg has, global service, own entities, own engineers, technicians with high know-how and expertise. This is really a structure, a global setup that is second to none, that a lot of companies are really looking for. And this is where we are driving into with our new business models and providing service, providing consumables. And these are the two main areas how we would like to address these markets.
Great, thank you. Another question. Obviously, you've been developing into a broader technology group, and you've identified those three core pillars that you have. Could you imagine evolving, growing outside of those three pillars and maybe develop a fourth one going forward?
Well, there's strong focus on these three strategic pillars that we defined as of today. I think within the technology segment and the capabilities that Heidelberg has and the abilities that Heidelberg has, there are all the fundamentals really for our group to evolve into even more areas. When you look at mechanics, when you look at the electronics, these are elements that are being utilized in a broad set of applications and industries. So therefore, of course, it's feasible to and imaginable for Heidelberg to step into other areas. We've done that. We are in the defense area when it comes to the Vincorion partnership. We have developed and established our business in the e-mobility sector. We do have existing industry business with companies in adjacent industries. So therefore, we've done this in the past and are currently doing so with a strong focus on the three fields as I've just defined. Of course, there's the opportunity to do even further, but for the time being, I'll put in focus on the defined strategy that we have.
Gotcha. And you also alluded on growth in the Asia Pacific region and how strong you already are positioned there. Considering the China print, I think, which you attended as well, what are your current impressions of the dynamic in the Asian Chinese market, and are there any risks in the global expansion that you maybe see as well?
Well, I think we are all aware of current macro political situation and all the news that arrive us every day. However, I think there is a basic trend towards growth in these Asia Pacific markets. There is still a trend towards growth in the Chinese market. So the underlying dynamics are correct. The underlying dynamics are the right ones. Of course, we do have some shadows given the political discussion at the moment, but mid to long term, we strongly believe that this area is going to grow, given the development of the population, given the development of the rising mid class, etc., etc. So therefore, we are all a bit uncertain of what short term and the times at the moment bring, but mid to long term, we have a clear view on growth in these areas. And that's why we have a clear strategy for these developing countries, for these growing markets in the Asian Pacific area, which make us believe that the game and the majority of activities in the world will be there going forward.
Great. It's 2:30 on the dot. I appreciate your insights that you share with us, Sascha. We'll continue with Singleless Technologies, and I just posted the according link in the chat box. And if there are any last words, that sounds kind of weird. If you have any last statements that you would like to make.
No, thank you, Holger. But we've run a bit out of time. Sorry for that. We'll share the information, of course, and we've got events and presentations upcoming for those who are interested. I think it's the right time to listen and to hear what Heidelberg does at the moment. And there's a lot of fantasy based on the know-how that we have, the competencies that we have. I think there's an excellent way that we're going at the moment, and there's more to come. And I'm very confident on the short and midterm development of our company.
Great. Thank you so much, Sascha. Appreciate it. Thanks, everybody, for listening and attending, and, of course, for your great questions. And have a great meeting with Singleless. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.